They say it takes 2 days for your dog to start eating your body. It was like someone hit me in the chest with a sledgehammer. I collapsed to the floor. I must have hit my head on something because by the time I regained consciousness, my forehead was sticky with blood. My whole body felt sore. I could breathe, but only just barely. I was down in the basement cleaning that row of shelves that I had been putting off, so I doubt my neighbors heard me falling. The only thing that was home, and would be until the next morning, was my boyfriend's stupid dog, Cooper. Jason picked him up from the pound even though nobody else wanted him. The scrappy little thing with wiry gray fur mottled with brown patches was no purebred, that was for sure. I wasn't a dog person, but Cooper was quiet, didn't pee in the house, and Jason took care of him most of the time. I was now hating the fact that Cooper was so quiet. If he nonstop yapped, perhaps someone could have come over and helped. But no, Cooper just meandered over to my fallen body and stared at me for an unnerving amount of time. He didn't do anything. He just stood there, staring. I tried to make my mouth work, tell him to go get help, but all I could do was make this dull, gurgling sound. My tongue felt thick and unusable, and all Cooper did was stand there and stare. He finally approached me, sniffing my head and whimpering ever so quietly. His warm tongue lapped against my bleeding head, which stung at first, but it did feel better after a few licks. After he'd cleaned up the blood, he backed up, nuzzled at my neck, and whined again. I wanted to beg that dog to start howling, making a bunch of noise, and somehow alert our neighbors that I was in trouble, but I couldn't do anything. I just had this scrappy little mutt to cuddle me as I lay there. Minutes ticked by. I could see the clock on the wall moving ever so slowly. I had to wait until Jason came home, I figured. He was going to be home tomorrow morning. I could last that long, right? I didn't feel like I was getting worse. I just had to wait it out. I could do this. I could live long enough for this. What I didn't count on was Cooper's lunchtime. Cooper got fed 3 times a day. Jason spoiled the mutt. He got that fresh food stuff from the pet store that cost almost as much as our groceries, but Cooper loved it. But when noon came, and I was being a terrible owner and not getting up to feed Cooper, he got impatient. His little claws clacked across the linoleum as he paced back and forth. He pawed at the fridge before returning to my side with his little whines. Why wasn't I feeding him his lunch? He was clearly going to starve to death, even though I'd given him his breakfast. A half hour past his lunch, Cooper growled. I'd never heard him growl before, but he sounded genuinely pissed off. I couldn't see him, but I could just imagine him glaring at me. I half expected him to finally bark for the first time since we'd taken him in. Instead of barking though, he bit me. His teeth sunk into my calf, hard. It was agonizing, only made worse by the fact I couldn't scream. Cooper didn't let go either. He just pulled, actually dragging me a few inches before my skin finally gave and he tore away a healthy chunk of skin and flesh. The pain got so much worse. Cold sweats poured down my face as I heard Cooper chew and swallow. I was nearly sick. At least I wanted to be. That stupid dog just ate part of my leg, and he clearly liked it as he went back for seconds. Thank God I passed out from the pain. By the time he had eaten his fill and I was back to being alert, I could feel him licking the gaping wound, as if it would make it better. Or perhaps my blood was just his dessert course. I couldn't look behind me to see how bad the damage was. I just knew it hurt, but I didn't know how much worse it could possibly get. Dinner time rolled around. I spent my afternoon drifting in and out of consciousness, but when I heard Cooper growl again, my body forced me awake. I wanted to smack him. Any other day I could